This presentation is a strategic blueprint for establishing Green Acres, a pioneering transcontinental network of interconnected, self-sustaining and affordable tiny home communities across the United States, spanning from coast to coast. This vision integrates advanced sustainable energy and management solutions for diverse applications, including electric vehicles, electric vertical takeoff and landing craft, establishing venues for e-motocross, e-boating, and e-radio-controlled events. A critical component of this ecosystem is a robust, sustainable energy STEM education framework and the innovative Everything Under the Sun Superstore, designed to foster local economic integration through a hybrid brick-and-mortar and online superstore model. This analysis reveals that these communities can serve as catalysts for broader sustainable development, offering accessible housing while minimizing environmental impact. Core to their self-sufficiency will be integrated microgrids leveraging solar and battery storage, complemented by advanced micro-water and waste management systems. Achieving affordability and long-term viability necessitates a layered financial strategies, combining community land trusts, CLTs, rent-to-own models, and diverse public and private funding streams. Strategic location along major interstate corridors will facilitate interconnectedness, supported by expanding digital and physical charging infrastructure. The integration of advanced mobility solutions positions these communities as hubs for future transportation. The Everything Under the Sun Superstore will further anchor the local economies through a commitment to local sourcing and circular economic principles. Realizing this ambitious vision requires proactive policy engagement, significant investment in green infrastructure, and comprehensive workforce development programs to cultivate the necessary skills and foster community resilience. I understand that this may not make a lot of sense right at the moment, but I promise it will be easier to understand than one of my last great brainstorms, E=mc². So hang in there, I'll learn ya. Now, let's talk about how we can get her done with community models, governance, and shared resources. There's a growing societal demand for affordable housing solutions that are both economically accessible and environmentally responsible. Traditional housing models often present significant financial barriers and carry substantial ecological footprints. Tiny homes offer a compelling and practical answer to these challenges, providing a smaller physical footprint that inherently reduces resource consumption and encourages a more minimalist lifestyle. This smaller scale directly translates to a reduced demand for construction materials and a more conscious approach to consumption, aligning naturally with broader sustainability goals such as energy efficiency and waste reduction. The inherent affordability of tiny homes makes homeownership more attainable for a broader demographic. For instance, monthly payments for a tiny home can start around $809 for a unit, priced at $92,959, demonstrating a clear economic advantage over conventional housing. This accessibility positions tiny homes not merely as a niche housing trend but as a foundational element for a holistic, sustainable development model. Their compact design and emphasis on efficiency enable a lifestyle that naturally integrates with the broader objectives of energy independence, water conservation, and community resource sharing. Consequently, tiny homes become ideal building blocks for a larger interconnected sustainable network, contributing to the overall resilience and ecological integrity of the transcontinental ecosystem. Achieving self-sufficiency in energy is a cornerstone of the proposed tiny home communities. This independence is primarily realized through the strategic utilization of renewable sources such as solar and wind power. Solar panels, for example, are a fundamental component of off-grid living, enabling residents to generate clean electricity and significantly reduce their environmental impact. Tesla's solar roof, which embeds photovoltaic cells directly into roofing materials, offers an aesthetically integrated and durable solution that turns the entire roof into a power generator, negating the need for separate panel installations. For a stable and continuous power supply, particularly during periods of low sunlight or wind, these renewable energy systems must be coupled with robust battery storage solutions, such as Tesla Powerwalls. Powerwalls are integrated home battery systems. These store excess solar energy for use at night or during high demand, maximizing solar energy utilization even when the sun isn't shining. Beyond generation, energy efficiency is paramount to minimizing overall consumption. This is achieved through thoughtful design and construction practices, including well-insulated walls, floors, and roofs, the installation of triple-glazed windows, and the exclusive use of low-energy LED lighting. Architectural designs will also integrate passive heating and cooling techniques, further reducing reliance on active energy systems. Community microgrids are critical for enhancing both grid independence and resilience. These localized energy systems allow the seamless integration of intermittent renewable power sources and possess the capability to operate in island mode, disconnecting from the main grid during outages to ensure uninterrupted power supply. They can also function in grid interactive mode to optimize energy management, optimizing performance, and maintaining system stability. The design of the Tesla tiny house exemplifies this integrated approach. where a rooftop solar array and power wall are foundational elements of the building's energy infrastructure, rather than mere additions. The combination of on-site generation from renewable energy with robust battery storage and intelligent microgrid control systems is not simply about reducing dependence on the traditional grid. This integrated approach creates a highly resilient and stable energy ecosystem within each community, capable of operating autonomously during main grid failures. This inherent resilience is a primary characteristic of true self-sustainability. Furthermore, for a truly self-sustainable model, energy solutions are not afterthoughts or optional add-ons, but are intrinsic parts of the architectural and community planning from the very conception. This holistic design approach optimizes both energy efficiency and aesthetic integration, elevating energy management from a utility concern to a fundamental design principle that shapes the very fabric of the community. For example, the Tesla tiny house, a model for efficient microliving, is constructed from locally sourced, renewable and recyclable materials, with its architectural design emphasizing durability and energy conservation through passive heating and cooling techniques. The use of locally sourced building materials extends beyond environmental benefits, directly influencing the economic and social sustainability of the communities. By prioritizing local vendors and materials, the project can boost regional economies, create local jobs, and significantly reduce the carbon footprint associated with transportation emissions. This approach fosters a symbiotic relationship between the tiny home communities and the broader economic ecosystem, particularly with the everything under the sun retail concept. Local production and consumption can mutually reinforce each other, creating a circular economy that strengthens community resilience and self-sufficiency. Cooperative ownership in community land trusts (CLTs), the development of tiny home communities, inherently fosters a strong sense of collective identity and shared purpose. Living in close proximity with others who embrace similar lifestyles leads to meaningful relationships and a supportive environment, enhancing the overall quality of life for residents. Existing models such as the Belfast co-housing and at Eco-Village Loudoun County demonstrate successful multi-generational communities that feature clustered housing, shared infrastructure, and jointly owned land. These examples illustrate how intentional design can cultivate social interaction and collaboration among neighbors. Community land trusts (CLTs) represent a robust and effective model for ensuring both long-term affordability and community control. Within these tiny home networks, CLTs are non-profit organizations that acquire and steward land in perpetuity, fundamentally separating the ownership of the land from the ownership of the homes built upon it. This mechanism significantly reduces the purchase price of homes by removing the speculative cost of land, making them more affordable for residents. Under a CLT model, homeowners typically lease the land through a long-term renewable lease and agree to restrictions on the resale value of their property. This shared equity approach ensures that homes remain permanently affordable for future buyers, while still allowing the current owners to build a limited amount of wealth. This structure protects residents from market fluctuations and contributes to their long-term financial stability. Initial funding to acquire land and develop housing is crucial for the formation and expansion of new CLTs. Community land trusts are a foundational economic model for achieving perpetual affordability and community control. By decoupling land and home ownership, let's take a second to talk about sustainable materials and construction methods, and why it's important to find those ecologically friendly construction techniques. By prioritizing local vendors and materials, the project can boost regional economies, create local jobs, and significantly reduce the carbon footprint associated with transportation emissions. This approach fosters a symbiotic relationship between the tiny home communities and the broader economic ecosystem, particularly with the everything under the sun retail concept. Local production and consumption can mutually reinforce each other, creating a circular economy that strengthens community resilience and self-sufficiency. Cooperative ownership in community land trusts (CLTs), the development of tiny home communities, inherently fosters a strong sense of collective identity and shared purpose. Living in close proximity with others who embrace similar lifestyles leads to meaningful relationships and a supportive environment, enhancing the overall quality of life for residents. Existing models such as the Belfast co-housing and at Eco-Village Loudoun County demonstrate successful multi-generational communities that feature clustered housing, shared infrastructure, and jointly owned land. These examples illustrate how intentional design can cultivate social interaction and collaboration among neighbors. Community land trusts (CLTs) represent a robust and effective model for ensuring both long-term affordability and community control. Within these tiny home networks, CLTs are non-profit organizations that acquire and steward land in perpetuity, fundamentally separating the ownership of the land from the ownership of the homes built upon it. This mechanism significantly reduces the purchase price of homes by removing the speculative cost of land, making them more affordable for residents. Under a CLT model, homeowners typically lease the land through a long-term renewable lease and agree to restrictions on the resale value of their property. This shared equity approach ensures that homes remain permanently affordable for future buyers, while still allowing the current owners to build a limited amount of wealth. This structure protects residents from market fluctuations and contributes to their long-term financial stability. Initial funding to acquire land and develop housing is crucial for the formation and expansion of new CLTS community land trusts, are a foundational economic model for achieving perpetual affordability and community control. By decoupling land and home ownership, let's explore some of the ways for achieving affordability and some of the financial structures and models available to do it with. Remember, this is just the tip of the sustainable FlexCore capacitor, which will generate a time rift, creating a portal we refer to as AHO, Affordable Home Ownership. Let's check it out. So beyond the inherent cost-effectiveness of tiny homes, innovative financial structures are essential to ensure long-term affordability and accessibility within the transcontinental network. Rent-to-own models are being explored as a mechanism to make housing accessible and enable wealth building for residents who may not qualify for traditional mortgages. In this model, a portion of the monthly rent vests into ownership equity over time, providing a clear pathway to home ownership. Community land trusts, CLTs, are paramount for ensuring permanent affordability. By separating the ownership of the land from the ownership of the homes, CLTs effectively remove the speculative value of land from the housing cost, making homes significantly more affordable. CLTs also utilize shared equity models, which restrict the resale price of homes, ensuring they remain affordable for future generations while still allowing current residents to build a limited amount of wealth. This structure provides financial stability by protecting residents from volatile market fluctuations. Leveraging diverse funding sources is critical for the financial viability and scalability of this initiative. Federal grants play a significant role, including programs like the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's HUD Rental Assistance Demonstration RAD program, which supports EV charging infrastructure and public housing. The U.S. Department of Agriculture (USDA) Rural Development offers various programs for housing, community facilities, and renewable energy projects in rural areas. Additionally, Department of Transportation grants are available for a wide range of transportation infrastructure projects. The Rural Community Development Program (RCD) specifically targets low-income rural communities, providing funding for water systems and broader economic opportunities. State-level grants and incentives further bolster financial feasibility. California's Affordable Housing and Sustainable Communities (AHSC) program, for instance, funds projects integrating affordable housing with sustainable transportation infrastructure. Colorado's Innovative Housing Incentive Program supports modular and panelized housing, offering bonuses for affordable and energy-efficient units. New Jersey is even piloting a sustainable tiny home pilot program that provides grants to builders of environmentally friendly tiny homes. Renewable energy incentives, both federal and state, significantly reduce the cost of sustainable infrastructure. The Federal Investment Tax Credit (ITC) offers substantial reductions up to 30 to 50% for qualifying projects. Various states provide solar tax credits, rebates, and net metering programs that further incentivize renewable energy adoption. Economic Opportunity Zones (OG) present another avenue for attracting crucial private capital. These designated low-income communities offer significant tax benefits to investors. Strategically locating tiny home communities within OG can stimulate investment. Although historical investment patterns indicate a concentration in urban OG, comprehensive layered financial strategy is essential for the long-term viability and growth of this transcontinental network. No single funding stream will be sufficient to meet the diverse needs of such an ambitious undertaking. Combining philanthropic contributions, public funding from federal and state programs, and innovative private financing mechanisms is critical to cover initial capital costs, ensure perpetual affordability for residents, and support the long-term economic resilience of each community. This multifaceted approach is fundamental for achieving the ambitious scale and impact of the proposed network. Furthermore, government incentives and utility partnerships are critical for establishing viable EV infrastructure, particularly in rural tiny home communities. The existing rural charging catch-22, where low utilization rates deter private investment in rural areas, highlights a significant infrastructure gap. Federal NEVI-funded stations and state McCready incentives directly address this challenge by providing the necessary financial support to build out charging networks in underserved regions. The integration of EV charging directly into a community's microgrid further enhances this by optimizing energy usage and potentially reducing strain on the broader grid, making rural sites more attractive for development and ensuring reliable charging services. Closing thoughts. I would like to thank you for watching part 1 of the Transcontinental Sustainable and Affordable Tiny Home Community Ecosystem. I've been working on every aspect of this vision for over 5 years, and if you are at all interested in affordable housing, sustainable living options, investment opportunities, building an EV and EVTOL infrastructure, and more, look for part 2. And remember, You have to know everything if you plan to be king one day. Just saying. Peace and love. See you in part 2. Now, somebody help me out of this daggone get-up. Whose bright idea was this anyway? Who's Fran? Well, tell Fran to step into my office. Why? 'Cause she's fired. That's why.
Recce 2, Renew You 2, Renew the World. At Everything Under the Sun, our goal is to initiate the spark of imagination and foster the possibilities of tomorrow by making available fun, interactive DIY solar kits like solar-powered cars, boats, robots, and a large variety of science and electronics kits, and so much more. Come see the possibilities that await you. You can either visit us at one of our stores located in one of our many sustainable tiny home and tiny movable home communities, or visit us online at everythingunderthesun.com, or simply download our Everything Under the Sun app, free, on Google Play and on your Apple Store. Change starts with you, so renew you to renew the world.